what's the result?
It just keeps fucking disconnecting me from Russia. Like connected me once, and then it came up in Russian, and then
Because I'm fairly sure
it's like,
that
you need to connect to VK. I'm like, what the fuck's VK? I've seen this before.
it's probably a wartime sanction. Because of all the sanctions, they're probably doing internal shit only. So VPNs probably won't be able to connect. But I have Pornhub post right here. It says, we are watching the developments in Ukraine with sadness and shock and hope for a swift and peaceful resolution to the present situation. Meanwhile, Pornhub has decided to permanently close the Pornhub account of Vladimir Putin. And then it shows a picture of Yoda, and it's like the series of pictures where he's like holding his chest, and then he's holding his head.
Yeah.
Like coming to the realization that he lost his Pornhub account.
That's so awesome.
But it is not only that. Like it is this, like they have blocked like Russia as well. Which I suppose, I don't know, if there are multiple sanctions against Russia, would unless it's a local VPN, I don't know if they would be able to actively use a VPN to get around it. Oh shit. I mean, apparently there's a tycoon in Pakistan. You know how they have like a bunch of like money royalty over there?
Yeah.
In the Middle East. Apparently he's gonna die. He's been sentenced to death because he tortured and raped a woman for 2 days and then beheaded her for rejecting his marriage proposal.
But what is this for?
This has nothing to do with Ukraine. This is just a story. There's a tycoon's son, so basically a super rich guy.
Yeah.
His son is being sentenced to death in Pakistan in high-profile rape and murder. Tortured and raped the woman for 2 days before beheading her because she rejected his marriage proposal. And now he's going to die for it.
You should.
I mean, I think he should get the same treatment. Get some burly dude, get a bear, and just have him fucking just plow him in the asshole for 2 days. Break his fingers, cut off his feet, and then at the end of 2 days, cut his head off.
Yeah, I agree. Fucking people now.
I'm sure in his next life he'll remember that.
Most likely.
Just like, oh, man, that woman denied me. I'm gonna go fuck her up. And he's like, oh, why does my ass hurt? I should stop.
Should stop doing what I'm doing.
You ever just get a sharp stabbing pain in one of your organs and you think, ah, fuck, it's finally happening.
What the fuck? Is it a post? Oh.
Yeah, it's just a random post. It's to me in real life, for me in real. Ukrainian civilian searches an abandoned Russian BMP-2. It's a scout tank. I'm assuming it ran out of gas. It's just sitting there, abandoned. In the middle of nowhere, again. They're sending these tanks out in the middle of fucking nowhere on back roads and highways with no support, and they're running out of gas. And they're wondering what the fuck is going on. When they lose all of them. Yeah, dude, it's completely abandoned.
Their tank is?
Yeah, it's a BMP-2. It's a Russian scout tank. It's like an APC.
Right.
Sort of. But it's more or less a light scout tank. It's not really, because an APC is a personnel carrier.
Right.
It's just sitting in the middle of a fucking dirt road. Completely abandoned because it ran out of gas.
Fucking stupid, dude. What a fucking waste. Are they secretly
took
just
about-
trying to make it look like they're invading and then they're just leaving all their shit and it's like a fucking plan?
we can't afford to keep this shit. You guys have it now.
You guys can have this, because
I mean, it would cost more money to do that than to actually invade. Like to actually expend all that fuel and to ruin your name among the world, at least most of the world. But yeah, no, this is a dirt road in the middle of fucking the woods, and there's just a Russian BMP-2 just sitting completely abandoned because it ran out of fuel. They're sending all these tanks out in the middle of fucking nowhere with no support, no extra fuel, nothing. They're just letting them go. Like they have no. After the initial attack on the border and then Kiev, they don't have a plan. Like they're insane.
yeah, he's gonna just like go get him, guys. Yeah, we don't have any plan, Putin. Yeah, you do. Get him. What about everything else? I don't know. Go get him.
Do you want us to like go in the woods and like, because there's a lot of people in the woods. Yeah, go. You gonna send like a fuel truck with us? No, just go. Oh, what?
The Draenei won't even take you.
And that's the thing. Like, I just saw a video of a Russian soldier they captured, and he's like, I never wanted to be here. I don't want to be here. I want to go home. And they just keep saying it. Like, he isn't the only one. Like, there's a ton of these Russian soldiers that when they get captured, they just start crying because they're like 20, and they just don't want to be there. They want to go home.
Yeah, fucking Putin's a moron.
It's entirely his fault. Like in every way, shape, or form, it's his fault.
It is. And I knew he was gonna pull some stupid shit in the line and at one point.
Because what do they get to do? Like say no? They get shot.
Right.
Like
right.
They don't have options. These kids are basically conscripted into the military and said, "Hey, go."
And then they're sending them out there with no fucking, like you said, no support, no nothing. Their tanks are literally just shitting out. And what the fuck are they supposed to do? They don't know what the hell to do. Their jobs aren't. All their jobs aren't.
I can't find the video. I've been looking for it for a while now. Basically,
gunners or whatever. They're not going to be their whole thing is support.
So a Russian vehicle stops on the road, and they send one of their younger guys to the house, and the guy in the house has a camera, and he's like, "Hey, go, get out, or I will shoot you in the face." And the guy's like, "We don't know where we are. We're lost. We're almost out of fuel. We just need help." And he's like, "I'm not here to help you, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't walk away, then I will force you to surrender after I shoot you in the face." Like, we don't want you here. I don't want you here. My kids are shaking. They're scared. I will shoot you. Go away. It's this whole, like, fucking mix of just insanity where you have a much larger military force failing against a much smaller one, and it's not even guerrilla warfare. This is conventional warfare.
Right.
And Russia cannot be a weaker force. It's insanity.
It always seemed like, oh, their special forces are so great, and their other stuff is so wonderful. It doesn't seem like it.
Yes, and I said before, that's about 20% of their military. The rest are all conscripts. They don't want to be there. They never even wanted to be in the military.
Right.
They were forced in.
It sounds like Company of Heroes.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, the last major war that Russia was in, they fucking threw conscripts at the enemy.
Yep. And you know what else they did? Let their own people die and starve to death in the millions. So Russia don't give a fuck. Their leaders don't give a shit.
But they won, and the reason why they won is because it was a defensive battle, and that worked for a defensive battle. Now they're doing it as an offensive tactic, and it's not working because Ukraine, the entirety of Ukraine is fighting back. Official Ministry of Defense. During the night, Russian forces did not capture any city, and Kiev is being cleared of remaining saboteurs. Thank you for the courageous defenders of Ukraine.
I don't want Russia to win this at all. I fucking can't stand Putin and his group, but it's quite pathetic of how this is happening. I mean, unless they're just holding back, and then they're just gonna see, unless they're testing how Ukraine can work and what they're doing, and then they're just gonna fucking have a full-on just crazy fucking invasion.
Like okay, if Russia
like
somehow,
invasion.
if Russia turns this around and actually legitimately pushes through, like they just send in a shitload more people and break the Ukraine, okay, fine, whatever, I get it. At this point I don't see it happening, but you never know. With the amount of tanks being taken out, with the amount of airplanes being taken out, with the amount of soldiers being captured, it's insane to me to believe that Russia has any capability to win this. But I've seen stranger things.
Right.
It's just, why would we let it happen? Why, as a nation who prides itself on freedom, allow this to happen?
America?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I mean, if shit starts hitting the fan, we're gonna drop right in there. It's just gonna. And
like, granted, we just left a 20-year war. Like, I'm assuming that's why we're hesitant, because we just left a 20-year war in the Middle East.
Right.
So I can absolutely understand why we haven't jumped in already. And also, NATO and the UN are putting their foot forward and trying to end the aggression before they have to send in troops. But at this point, Russia has already pushed to Kiev. That's the capital. Let's get something done, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm just fucking, like... When we thought the pandemic was the worst thing that could happen, and then this shit happens.
Yeah. I know, right? You know.
Oh, thank God.
I mean...
Biden signed an order to give $600 million in military assistance to Ukraine. At least we did that.
You mean his people just told him to do it, and he didn't know what the fuck was happening, so he just signed the bill and he didn't read? Yep. Good thing. Good plan. Thanks, Biden.
I mean, again...
Just put a piece of paper in front of him. Let's go.
No one we've voted into power in the last 10 years has been useful in any way, shape, or form. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Last time
we vote in presidents and we get fools. Ukraine votes in a fool and gets a president.
It gets a fucking, a commanding leader.
They get a war hero. They get a fucking war hero. And we get, I mean, Obama wasn't that bad. I can't really shit on Obama. He wasn't that, compared to the last two, he might as well fucking be Jesus. But yeah, the last two has just been a fucking shit show. And it's not even looking like we're getting anything good coming up. Because either Trump goes again and potentially wins, which, whatever. We're already fucked. What more could he break?
Yeah.
I mean, people voted him in because, he's going to cut taxes. No one read his tax cut. He cut taxes by 5% for anyone making under $75,000. But in that same thing, it says, because you won't, because it's already increased. It increases by 2% every 2 years after the bill was set up. So it was a 5% cut, and then it was a 2%, and then in 2020, this year, So it was in 2020, 2022, and 2024. It'll raise by 2%. So in 2024, it not only will it have erased the tax cut, it will increase it by 1% on top of whatever else is coming out, like inflation.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone voted in Trump, because he was going to cut taxes. He didn't cut taxes. He fucked us. He just put it in the fine print where nobody fucking reads. Because half the people that voted him are fucking retards. And half of the people who voted him probably can't even fucking read. They saw a T and they voted and they didn't see it. They had two options: T and M.
I should run for president. They say
T and H.
I'll go there.
Right?
Fuck it.
They see two names of TR and they're like, oh my god, what do we do?
You vote yes! I vote for you to be there. Sounds good.
It'll be a 50-50 shot. It will literally be 50% you and 50% him.
I'll be an independent.
We chose the name with a TR at the front. We didn't know.
Oh, it's someone that hasn't been in the political system for fucking 40 years and hasn't done anything? Well, vote that guy. He's gonna T? That's a win. That's a sure win, guys. America!
Unfortunately, you can't run for president until you're 36.
True. I'll just keep doing it. Who fucking cares? I'll change that. Vote me in, I'll change it.
Dude, when I hit 36, I might actually just run for president. Like, fuck it. What's the worst that could happen?
Alright, they're gonna say no.
I'll just be like, this is my resume. I've been working my ass off my entire fucking life. I'm not a politician. I'm a worker. I'm gonna do everything I can to improve the lives of the working class. That's it. It's drop the mic, done. And we'll see what happens.
Oh me in and I'll punch in for 4 years straight.
Dude, watch me fucking get voted in. As soon as someone's like, as soon as people are like, wait, so you're actually gonna do things for the working class? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm the working class. When I stop being the president, I'm not gonna stop being the working class. Like, the president makes a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
But after his term ends, they sustain themselves off of the businesses that they already had before they were president. Or like fucking Obama.
That's why they get in the presidency and all they do is set up their own shit.
Yeah. Obama made a fucking podcast. He doesn't have any businesses. He's just
his wife has
like,
that like
do a podcast.
His wife had that like weight thing or whatever she did. Women's whatever.
The point is, before they become president, the majority of presidents have businesses that sustain them after they leave.
Right.
If I get voted in, I'm going to do my 4 years. I'm going to do everything in my power to boost the middle class and the working class. I'm going to go out and I'm going to start working at fucking Global again.
G, going back out, G? Coming
like,
in now?
What else am I going to fucking do?
Well, you still staying up, buddy. You can stay out if you got people.
Kiev is a beautiful city, too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God. If Russia actually takes it over, I'm going to be pissed because Russia's going to make it look like a fucking shit show.
Come on, are you guys coming in, puppies?
Fuck!
I'm gonna play live things to do. I have aliens to kill. There you go, Chloe.
I love. Have you ever seen the video of what the fuck is that guy's name?
Yeah.
He did YouTube videos a while, like going into like the science of video games or something like that. Can't remember, but
I don't know.
He made a recent video about how he makes like his protein shakes, and he's like, well, first I put in some protein, and then I add milk, and then I put in some protein, and then I add a banana, and then I put in some protein, and he just keeps scooping in protein powder into it.
I'm gonna go shoot some aliens, guys. I gotta
protein.
They won't be able to play for another 10
Cup of almond milk. Some protein. Banana. protein.
Hey Mike, you there?
Yeah.
Alright, what are you playing? What are you doing?
1/2 of protein. What I like to add in next is 1/2 of protein.
What's this? What's the beat? Oh, I got those. Yeah, so they have like these fobs everywhere.
It wouldn't be a shake without some ice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some protein, and then we're gonna take the ice and we're gonna dip that in protein, and we're gonna throw it in.
I'm gonna throw it in. This fucking game's cool. I cannot wait to play.
We're gonna throw those in there and then add some protein, and then, and only then, you're gonna add some protein and start blending.
Well, they tell you what area collectibles you can get. Access and fob.
Oh man.
Memory with empty vehicle seats. The breacher. The gun goose, the mongoose. Guns.
Jesus. There's a post of the size comparison of our solar system, and the entirety of our solar system can fit into Saturn, which then can fit into Jupiter.
What? Oh, yeah, 'cause Jupiter's
Yeah,
so big.
Even Saturn is huge.
Yeah.
So like that. So basically, like, what is it? Saturn, or Uranus and Neptune are in the top left and right of Saturn. Earth, Venus, Mars, Ganymede, Titan, and this is like the moons too. Mercury, Callisto, Io, the Moon, Europa, Triton, Eris, and Pluto. All are on the bottom half of Saturn, and then Saturn is in Jupiter. So the entirety of our solar system, including the moons, can fit into Saturn, and then Saturn can fit into Jupiter.
That's ridiculous. Pursuit Hydra, Rocket Hog. Dude, this is cool, man.
Oh, here it is, yeah. Rejecting U.S. evacuation offer, Zelensky says, I need anti-tank ammo, not a ride.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
Jeez.
Germany's sending over 1,000 anti-tank weapons.
Yeah.
The U.S. signed a $600 million military support bill for Ukraine about 12 hours ago. So they're getting help. They're just not getting, like people.
Are just getting. I mean, I was watching something on the Korean War, and that's actually the first guy kept having people going. He was failing miserably, so they switched commanders. The dude goes, "No more men like the other guy wanted." He's like, "No, I don't need constantly more people." He's like, "Give me the artillery, give me the munitions, and we'll clear up good." And they pushed all the way through North Korea, right into China. And that's what China was trying to jump into. And they were crushing them because they had air superiority. We had the weapons to do it. We didn't need to keep sending people to die. We had the people. We just needed the weapons, the big time shit. And then it pushed all the way into China. And that's why they were like, "We're going to stop attacking China, even though we're stomping them out." But because they were back in North Korea, whatever, back in the Korean War and shit. That was I watched like a 2.5 video on it. We had to do it for school 1 year.
I forgot
Crazy.
that there's another person that was talking about taking out Russian officers.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Well, how do you know if they're Russian officers?" It's like, it'll be the oldest guy in the field giving orders, and he usually has a bunch of stars on his coat. And they're like, well, how do you expect these guys to take them out? There's so many troops in front of them. It's like the majority of their troops are being captured. I'm sure they'll be okay shooting one dude in a fucking pompous hat.
Now the chief's back. I'm on the turret. On the gun.
Like, what are you playing with?
You're-
I'm gonna get it on in a sec. We're having a scorpion around here.
Oh Jesus, that's loud as fuck. When your mom didn't let you have tattoos because they were permanent and expensive, but now wants grandkids.
Wait, what was? Say that again?
When your mom didn't let you have tattoos because they were permanent and expensive, but now they want grandkids.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna let you know right now, a tattoo's a lot cheaper than a kid.
Yeah.
Hell, a tattoo's cheaper than a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Cost of food and care throughout the entirety of a pet or a child's life is more than a fucking tattoo. Plus, can't they laser remove tattoos now?
Yeah.
So they're not super permanent.
Or there's just artists that specialize in covering tattoos, like making a tattoo, covering like a tattoo that
Yeah,
say you
cover-ups.
got one for your
Like a name or something because you were
Yeah.
a dumbass and decided that was a good idea.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that happened to Undertaker. Undertaker had his wife, they were married for a long time.
Okay, I can understand if your wife died or something along those lines, like it was someone very important to you
Yeah.
that died. But yeah, if you,
Yeah, Undertaker
No.
had it covered up. He had a really good one covered.
Relationship wise though, like new relationship, not even married or anything.
like if I was in a relationship, right? I was with the person for a very long time and they died. Tattoo, sure, no big deal. If someone had an issue with that, like the next person I dated, I'm going to go fuck themselves.
Officially offline.
Not the big of a deal. It's a very
You did it,
important
Chief.
thing.
Well, you did it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, some people have issues. Like, the only names, like straight up names, that I would say are like 100% okay would be like a kid, or a grandkid or whatever. Or if you had a really important pet for a long time, like a cat or a dog or something like that. But I don't know. If I saw someone with a tattoo that said Pookie or something, I'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Pookie. Pookie, my pet dog.
Like Mr.
My
Mittens.
pet doge.
I'd be like, are you insane? Is that Bo Burnham? Or is that? I think he's that other actor. He tries to hold his wife's hand, and he goes to reach for her arm, but she didn't have her arm in the sleeve of her coat, so he's like slapping the sleeve. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh.
Here it is. Yes, finally. The sanction nobody is talking about. Russian users who attempted to visit Pornhub were quite literally cock-blocked by a message that told them that the content has been stopped along with a Ukrainian flag and message of Ukraine support. Please tell me. Imagine being a Russian citizen, you fucking hate what the government and Putin are doing, and you go to beat your dick to try and forget about it, and you're told to get fucked. I'm very much against Russia, but being a dick to the civilians isn't the best solution. It is the best solution. It is exactly the best solution. That is how you get change. You get the populace to do something about it. It's the same thing with China. Either people agree with the government, they don't care about the government, or they want nothing to do with the government. Either way, you need to get the people to go against the government if the government's doing something bad. How do you do that? You cut off their jack-off material.
Yeah. Bad guy.
Blue balls over dropping bombs. There are no hot Ukrainian MILFs in your area.
What the fuck? My Marines I had just disappeared.
This is confidently incorrect and aged like milk. Residential buildings in Kiev are being hit by missiles this morning.
Yeah, you see the video of the plane fly over and fired rockets at him, or bombed him, or whatever the fuck it was dropping?
Yeah, these are just pictures, but it still shows some pretty intense damage.
Yeah, I definitely want to play this 4-player co-op with you guys when they finally release it. They said co-op's technically ready, but they want to make sure everything flows well with like the co-op when you're in co-op, because you know some stuff is different. Can sometimes glitch out while you're connected with other people.
The only information I've heard about Halo Infinite is that it has absolutely no content, or it has content and it's just not being updated. One of the two.
I'm gonna guess they're gonna wait for co-op and then they're just gonna put a bunch of stuff in rather than say have more stuff to do with everybody else. I don't know.
Well, the issue you run into is that this is the first time it's happened. Apparently 343 Studios is notorious for taking forever to release. So we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case. I'm not going to jump into that game. I kind of lost.
It's free with Microsoft, I think. Game Pass.
I don't have that anymore. Well, I don't have it yet anymore because my card swapped. My bank swapped from MasterCard to Visa. I'm basically just letting everything kind of end, so I have it off my. I'm not paying for it anymore, and then as I want to use it, I'm going back and paying for it again. So far, it's, you know, a lot of stuff I'm not. I think I've honestly fucking getting back like 120, 130 bucks a month. I also just finished Attack on Titan. The show got weird in the end. What the fuck?
Hi, baby Wint. Hi, baby Wint. Hi, pretty girl.
That's cool as fuck. Dude has a steering wheel set up for his computer, and he set up his screen to look like a.
Who did?
I don't know. I'm just watching a video. He's basically driving through like a super realistic video game with a steering wheel set up, and he made his screen look like the windshield.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like one of those curved monitors, but he has like a dash and everything. Looks pretty fucking cool. I don't know what the game is, whether he's just developing it himself or if it's actually something that exists. He's just driving through like city streets. And no one in the comments is saying what it is either. Oh, maybe it is Forza. But he just, it looks like he's just driving through
Microsoft
streets.
just bought whatever the company is that does Forza. Well, they bought them a while ago, but that was one of the big companies they bought.
Who had that before? Was it Sony?
I don't know who had it, but they got Bethesda now, so they got like the Elder Scrolls stuff, they own that.
They got Blizzard,
now.
Activision Blizzard.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome, dude. They're gonna do some of this shit. And people are hoping. I was watching like a Asmongold thing once, and I don't know if he was reacting to somebody or watching another video with people, and we'll send them, and
I guess Tower was a more than appropriate name.
They're hoping to
Look at that place.
have WoW
The signal's coming from within that main structure.
Microsoft
Somewhere up
sourcing
top.
playing a,
We're gonna need to find a way
with that.
in.
It's already included with their Game Pass or whatever.
I mean, it's good. The Game Pass is a solid thing. Instead of like Steam is a phenomenal platform because they've been building on it for years. But the Xbox Game Pass is not to be like taken lightly because it is as well a solid system.
Yeah,
You pay monthly to have access to an entire library of games on both the Xbox and the PC. It's very good. And the only downside to it that I can even think of is that you just don't get the expansions, which is kind of a bummer. Like, I don't want to buy expansions for a game for something I'm only subscribing to, and as soon as that subscription ends, I can't play that game anymore.
Right, it's bullshit. I agree.
So now I've bought an expansion pack for a game that I don't have access to if I stop paying a subscription. It's just not.
Thanks, Chief. Looks good.
Keep this area locked down, Marines.
Who the fuck is Tim Sweeney?
I don't know.
Chief, wait, you want to give this up?
love that fucking meme. Emotional damage. Emotional
we can all play. I
damage.
don't know. I mean, there always is, but
I only still have Deep Rock Galactic, Hunt Showdown, War Thunder, Dying Light 2, 7 Days to Die, and Total War Warhammer 3. That's what I got. There's really not much as far as games are going right now.
a Marine yells, "Are you a bird or a dinosaur? Make up your mind." So then you start with like jackals.
I mean, they're the only things that kind of look like birds.
But yeah, I think it would be sick if they had a game that was like that. They had a it'd be like a grunt, a jackal, and hunter, and they all had different abilities, and you kind of level up. Like they start off with different specialities, and then you can like adjust how you want to play. Like even like in this, like there's jackals that get out of the ship and they go to fight you, and they're like dual wielding, where they have like mini like wrist shields instead of the big ones, and they like dual wield, or they have like a single weapon and they move faster.
So this is the video that Mikey was talking about, where a Russian tank runs over a civilian.
Oh yeah, look at that shit.
It's already linked. Unfucking believable. Motherfucker turned into the car too.
Like I've always wanted to see this in real life. It's like, dude, it's been happening since 1940.
GTA, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he was thinking.
Playing on veterans, so it's much easier to be like two-shotted basically by anything, or one-shotted depending on the weapon. Unlike World War II, you can kind of take it with extra hands, but it's just.
Oh shit. I forgot about that one.
My facility is locked down. There is nothing you can
do. He seems confident.
Yes, he does, but fortunately, it's misplaced. When the lockdown triggered, there was a power spike in what I presume was a security building. I've marked it on the map. I've marked it on the map.
Right behind you. That's one battle.
Anyone know who RTE Player is? Or what it is?
I hope they like add like a whole new area.
We
of
need to
the map. That'd be
deactivate the
fucking
lockdown.
cool. 'Cause the map's pretty
What
decently
map?
big, but like double it for the co-op or whatever.
Oh.
The lockdown is controlled from the security building near the front.
Looks like he's gonna add candy into that. Ugh.
Candy? What do you mean?
Weapons hot.
It's a guy making, he's a famous bartender. He makes like drinks and stuff. And like shows you how to do it. But you don't add sugar to booze, because it just...
How we doing?
Sugary. If you add sugar to booze, then you're gonna have a hangover like a motherfucker the next day. You don't add sugar to booze. You add in something else to sweeten the booze.
The only way in is to
unless it's the
remove the
only
lockdown.
thing that you're adding in sugar. Like a lot of times you're adding like, and that's all
This is
sugar.
it. Let's
Like,
find a
he's
way
adding
in.
in triple sec. That's a ton of sugar right there. Triple sec is a
Right.
ton of sugar. But he's got a bunch of gummy lifesavers there. And he has dragon fruit in there too. And dragon fruit has sugar on its own. He's putting in apple juice, more sugar. Oh, white grape juice, sorry. More sugar. That's as sweet as you could possibly need it. He's got two bottles of 4 different booze. He's got a dragon fruit, a bottle of white grape juice, 2 bottles of triple sec, 4 bottles of champagne, and it's a sweet champagne. And then he's putting more dragon fruit in,
Come on, this way.
and oranges.
Until he.
Now he's throwing in all the candy.
The lockdown protocol should
Ugh.
be simple to reverse. Let me see.
Oh
3,
god, he's throwing in
1.
gummy worms.
Done.
Oh,
Oh,
gummy bears with
And-
no sourness is
This-
good, but gummy worms.
He
this
threw
place
in
is an
gummy
interrogation
lifesavers, gummy
facility
worms, and like
run
those
by our
gummy
elite
raspberry
friend back there,
things.
Chaklock.
Oh
His
man.
reputation is not
You
good.
drink more than one of those, and you're
Neither is
just
mine.
destined to wake up with a fucking raging headache.
That's what he should name it, the raging headache.
You're going to need to manually activate the gravity
Sweet
lift.
Till the after
I've marked it on your map. This location acts as a holding facility. Prisoners are captured, funneled through to Chaklock, and then onto somewhere they call the House of Reckoning, which is...
And he's drinking it over the
Suitably
entire
ominous
bucket,
and banished
so it's just
sounding.
dripping out of his mouth into the bucket. All that would be great. None of that candy. If you want like a candy flavor or whatever, like sugar, add some other type of liqueur. Don't add candy, because then you're still getting more alcohol. What the fuck? This person ordered alcohol for a gathering, and the grocery store delivered them with the security tag still locked onto the bottles.
Nice. How convenient.
I'd be pissed. 90% of those use magnets. Just get yourself a magnet. Oh yeah. Chinese Steam users review bombed this war of mine for supporting Ukraine. So yeah, absolutely China's on board with everything Russia's doing right now. Oh, have you seen the propaganda about why Russia is invading Ukraine?
Because Ukraine was joining NATO.
Are they finally joining NATO? That's what I was saying. They should have done a while back,
but do you know what?
They were
do you know the
going
propaganda behind that?
No.
So they're invading Ukraine because Ukraine is trying to join NATO, which is a far-right nationalist organization that's supporting the neo-Nazis that are controlling Ukraine. So it is Russia's Russia has to invade to stop them. That's the propaganda going around. Which is just absolute pure insanity.
Remember, we can't get up there without activating the gravity lift.
Oh, they're all speaking Swedish. I don't know what they're saying.
There we go. Gravity lift's active.
Jesus Christ. Well, here's a video of fucking Ukrainian army fighting the Russian troops in the Kiev region. Just two dudes walking down the road. One of them's carrying a fucking law.
Oh shit!
Yeah! Like, seriously. The dude with the camera is standing behind a guy that's just walking down the road carrying a law, and there's a bunch of Ukrainian tanks And then they get to the road, and there's just fucking tanks on fire on the road. I'm assuming those are the Russian tanks. Oh, apparently it was, apparently it was an ambush.
Oh yeah. That makes sense. Dude, these fucking jackal gear armor looks sick, dude. That's what they should be able to. If they did something like that, that would be cool. You can like upgrade your gear as you level or through the game. That'd be so fucking cool. The shit they have in this game looks so sick.
Chief, more Spartan armor, and the source of the distress signal. We're too late. A deployable threat sensor. It appears to lock onto and highlight any targets in range. Could be useful. This armor belonged to a Spartan named Hudson
Average Halo
Griffin.
Infinite dialogue.
Sensor
Thing
logs
happened
suggest he was
bad.
alive when the
Won't.
armor was removed. Forcibly. It's a long shot, but he might still be alive.
So basically, it's a picture of Cortana, and it says "thing happened bad," and then it's a picture of Master Chief, and it just says "won't," because that's all he says anytime Cortana's like, "Oh, this is gonna be bad," and then Master Chief's like, "Nah, won't be."
Yeah, and then in this game, every time something's gonna happen, she's like, "Oh, it might be something else," and he's like, "Nope, it's always gonna be bad." She's like, "It might be good." He's like, "No, it ain't good. It's not gonna be good." Something happens, and she's like, "Yeah, none of this is good."
He's about what you would expect for an elite who specializes in torture.
Time to learn your secrets.
Where's Dad at? I was hoping he'd get on today so we can play like Diablo or something with Joe, whatever. Finish Act 1. So we're on the last
drive one.
These fucking runs look sick, dude.
So Netflix apparently starting March 1st will be broadcasting Putin propaganda in Russian.
Oh no, Spartan Griffin. He's still alive.
Netflix basically took a bunch of money from Putin, and starting March 1st they'll be broadcasting Russian propaganda, essentially, for money.
Definitely want to make more movies.
When the Taliban is going against Russia and Netflix isn't, that's kind of an issue.
Welcome to my tower, Master Chief. It is where you will be broken. It is where you will give up your secrets.
Oh, I can use the sensor. That's what it was. Forgot about that.
The wall's retracted. Watch your back. He could come from anywhere. Retracted. Watch your back. He could come from anywhere. Retracted. Watch your back. He could come from anywhere. The wall's retracted. Watch your back. He could come from anywhere.
This will not take.
The wall's retracted. Watch your back. He could come from anywhere. The wall's retracted. Watch your back. He could come from anywhere. The wall's retracted. Watch your back. He could come from anywhere.
Cowardly fool.
The wall's retracted. Watch your back. He could come from anywhere. to get him out of that machine.
Shut this thing down.
Working on it. Okay. Be ready. I'm going to cut him loose.
It's you. You're alive. Chief. The Banished. I tried to stop them. I tried to...
Easy. You're safe now.
The Banished, they have something they call the Conservatory. That's all I know. It's picked up north of here. Dig site. I couldn't stop them. But you can. You have to.
Consider it done.
That's good. Good. The others, the Spartans. Did you?
I'll find them.
Echo 216, all channels. Can you hear me? I repeat, can you hear me?
Chief?
Big guy, your motion tracker isn't moving. Come on, give me anything.
Chief,
Respond, please. Did you find the source of the signal? Whatever's down there either has to come with us or be left behind. Can you hear me?
Dig site?
The one thing
This
the one
conservatory must be
thing
some
I
sort of
can't stand
Forerunner
about this game so far
installation.
is that the
What do you
fucking
suppose they're after?
It's time to go.
like the dude that is flying the Pelican is like wondering what's going on, and like he's like he's like your stuff hasn't moved for a while. This hasn't happened. This is going on. He's like giving you information. He's feeding you info and shit to help you out and see if you're still alive, so he doesn't just have to panic and take off, and that he's not by himself. And as it happens, he's like, hey, what's happening with this? This is happening, this and that. What's happening? Just tell me if you're alive or whatever. What's going on? And then they just stay silent the whole fucking time. And then the friggin' weapon shows up and she's like, starts talking to him in the middle of Chief not responding to this guy when all I can say is, we're good, yep, I'm on my way out. But no, the fucking weapon shows up and starts talking to him and shit and ignoring the guy. So the guy starts like panicking and then they're like, we're good. It's like he just had a heart attack and died because you fucking idiots took 10 years to say,
I'm guessing that whatever the conservatory is, the Banished won't want us anywhere near it.
Then they'll be disappointed.
Yes, they will.
like these two are fucking talking but they're not responding to this guy and he has like clear contact. Like what a bunch of dicks. That's the one thing I can't fucking stand is when people don't respond when they easily can. It's like, come on. It's like very important. I get if it's not like a text. Like if it's a text, I get it. But if it's a fucking life and death situation, if again I should leave or what the fuck's happening? You're just choosing to ignore it, but then you have a conversation with some other rando fucking. I don't know. That's the one thing that's been annoying me. That's like it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Trevor, the Total War 3, they have all the demons. So you have Zinch, Korn, Nurgle, and Slaanesh. Only 2 of them are any good, though. I guess it depends on how you want to play. But for the most part, like, I guess 3 of them are alright. Slaanesh is alright, because you can basically seduce enemy units from enemy's army for that battle.
Yeah.
So basically, someone comes at you with a full stack, and you have a full stack, but your legendary lord is pumped up to the rafters to be able to seduce the enemy. You can take 3 of their units and just pull them over to yours, your army. And now the enemy army is at a massive disadvantage because you have an army that has really fast units with armor piercing, and now you have 3 of their units, well, that you can just use for cannon fodder and just throw them at the enemy.
That's awesome.
Korn is powerful because they're just fucking... They hit like trucks. They're not super fast, but they're not slow either.
Right.
They're difficult to deal with because they're just very powerful in melee combat. But they're not... That's not what I wanted to do. For fuck's sake. They're very powerful in melee combat, but they have almost no ranged capabilities. Neither really does Slaanesh.
Do they have any undead? Or is it just dead vampire dudes?
Not yet. No, it's just the 8 factions at release. You have Kislev, which is basically like Russian, or I can't even say Russian. They're Slavic. Like Bear Cavalry, and most of their infantry is like hybrid infantry. They have a ranged and a melee option that they use.
Yeah.
So like your baseline units have either a spear and a bow or an axe and a bow. So they can basically just sit there pelting the enemy with a bunch of ranged damage, and then when they get close enough, you just go into melee, and they're decent melee combatants. Not great, but I mean, when you've dwindled down the enemy with range, it's gonna hurt. But they also have they're called Cossacks. So there's 2 types of them. Well, there's 4. You have the baseline Cossacks, which are axe and bow. They're okay, but they're probably not going to beat anything that's even slightly well versed in melee. You have spear version of those, so instead of an axe, it's a spear. And then you have the armored Cossacks. The armored Cossacks are a pistol and a shield and an axe, or a pistol and a 2-handed axe. The issue you have with the great weapon Cossacks that have the 2-handed axe is that they have the same pistol as the shield and axe. Shield and hand axe armored Cossack does, but they don't have the shield. And they do more damage to the enemy, and it's armor piercing damage, but it doesn't really matter, because you're essentially, the whole purpose of having them is to hold the front line. You want them on the front line, just surviving, so that your normal Cossacks with the bows sit behind them and pelt them with arrows. Because the normal Cossacks have a much longer range than the armored Cossacks, because they're using a pistol, and the baseline Cossacks use bows. So they have a much longer range, but they do a little bit less damage. Neither of them are armor piercing with their ranged weapons. Isn't there an encyclopedia now? Where is it? I thought they had the encyclopedia. Upgraded. Oh, okay, I thought they had an encyclopedia for units now, but I guess not. But the multiplayer campaign is 8 players, so 8 people can join the game and play as each of the 8. Everyone could play one of the 8 factions. But yeah, so Kislev have Bear Cavalry, which is probably one of the best units in the game, especially after you unlock Boris Ursus.
Yep.
There's a little quest during the game when you play as Kostalin or Zarina Katerin, where you have to defend Boris Ursus because he's frozen in a waterfall. And once you defend him, you are able to use him as a legendary lord, and he's basically just this fucking bulky ass, like fat
Like you all on the same team in the campaign?
You can be, because it's free diplomacy in the game, so you can. I think anyone is at so if you're Kislev, Grand Cathay, or the Ogre Kingdoms, then you're at war with the Demons of Chaos initially. But you can do diplomacy and you can do a peace treaty and then build up a defense if that's what you feel like. Because there's 5 Demons of Chaos armies. There's the Demons of Chaos, which is Chaos Undivided. So that basically has all 4 of the demon races under one demon prince of Chaos Undivided. So basically they'll never be as powerful as they'll never have the most powerful units that each of the individual Chaos factions have. And the Lord itself, he's okay, but he kind of sucks. Like, basically, as you level him, you get favor from each of the 4 Chaos Gods, or you just take Undivided, and you go down the line, and you get body parts that you unlock as you go. And they change the way that your Demon Prince works, basically. So if you pump all of your favor into Tzeentch, then your Demon Prince kind of starts looking like a bird. He gets a barrier, and he starts able to cast some spells. But generally, he sucks dick in melee combat. And that's not really what you want for a Legendary Lord, unless they're super good at casting spells. And the Demon Prince of Chaos is never super good at casting spells. Always middling in casting spells. So you might as well just pump him into being able to be in melee combat. So you want to go down Khorne and Nurgle, maybe a little bit of Slaanesh, but Nurgle basically gives him the ability to he gets these wings that basically do damage over time as long as he's in combat, and he gets a 2-handed hammer that does massive damage to infantry. And then if you take some, if you Khorne,
this one in the shadow of Chaklock's tower.
Attack value,
nice
armor,
but then I remember what went on in there.
and armor piercing. So you kind of want to go into both. It's kind of a difficult ride. Nurgle, that's probably the closest you're going to get to undead. It's not really undead, but they're like the pestilence. That's like the pestilence god. They're okay. They have some ranged units, but they don't really come till later on. They're very sturdy. They're very difficult to kill, but slow. So if you have an army that has a lot of ranged capability, then you're not going to do well against them. Your units are just too slow. Like I said, Khorne is super good in melee combat. Their normal speed, they do have some faster units, but their biggest boon is that they're just really good in melee. Slaanesh has really fast units. They all have armor piercing, or most of them have armor piercing. But their big thing is pulling enemies to their side. So you basically you almost always have a numbers advantage. Tzeentch is spells. Lots of ranged infantry. lots of spell casting, lots of ways to get winds of magic. You can even get an enemy settlement and change it to a different settlement, a different faction settlement. So if you have an enemy that you dislike and they have a settlement that they're making a lot of money with, you can change the ownership of that settlement to somebody else so they stop making that money. You can also force factions to go to war with each other as well. Tzeentch can be very fucking annoying. Then you have the Ogre Kingdoms. They use kind of a camp system.
Yeah.
So basically, when you capture a settlement, you basically can build some buildings in it, but none of the buildings get you any of your... You have to set up a camp. Once you set up the camp, you kind of build it up and eventually get access to like your stronger units. And also, the camp pumps out a lot of meat, and you need meat to sustain your armies.
Yep.
If your armies run out of meat, then they start to decay and lose units over time or damage. So you need to make sure that at some point or not, they're near a camp and they start building up meat, and then you send them out, and they can get meat by fighting and such, but you're not going to get as much as when you're near. Camps just give ridiculous. And the last one is Grand Cathay. They're basically like China. They have a yin-yang system where you want to always be in balance. So if you have, let's say you have a hero that gives you +3 yin, then you need to get +3 yang somehow, so that your yin and yang is in balance. So your hero, your legendary lord, and any heroes that you get, they all have a yin or yang alignment. Your buildings have a yin or yang alignment. Your research has a yin and yang alignment, and there's events that give you yin or yang. So if there's if there's an event and the yin choice for it is really good, but it gives you +6 yin, somehow make up that by getting 6 yang by either researching yang research things, building yang buildings, recruiting yang heroes or legendary lords. Just normal. And then your troops have yin and yang, but it only really affects one. You want to have yin units next to yang units because they buff each other when they're in harmony. So yin is, I think yin is black and that's ranged, and yang is white and that's melee. So basically, you always want a front line of defenders with a back line of ranged, and that way they're always in harmony with yin and yang.
Yep.
One of the things I was trying to build, because the terracotta warriors, which are these giant like statue constructs, they're yang, and there are sky lanterns that fire rockets, and they're yin. So they're an army setup that I have been trying to do is having the terracotta warriors below the lanterns so that they're always in harmony with each other. It's been relatively good until the terracotta warriors have to actually go in and fight. But yeah, so they have this, so Cathay is like this really magic-heavy region that is basically like this really nice oasis area, and then there's like a massive desert, and then another kind of oasis-y area, and it's all surrounded by mountains, and then on the other side of those mountains, and a giant wall, is the Chaos Wastes. To the, is that the west? Yeah, so to the west there's the Chaos Wastes, and to the south is basically just the Ogre Kingdom's mountain territories. So Cathay is basically besieged on all sides by either
Moving to objective.
chaos or ogres. But depending on who, like there are two dragons. There's Miao Ying. She's the storm dragon. She's very good at like support casting, and she's pretty good in melee combat when she turns into her dragon form. And then there's who's the other guy? Xiao Ming, the Iron Dragon. He's a fucking monster. He can't die, basically. I mean, he can. It's just really hard because he's really good in melee. His casting is pretty fucking great. He basically can summon a wall of fire that just travels slowly in a direction. So you just send him in human form and have the enemies surround him, and then just have the wall of fire just slowly pass over them while just kicking the shit out of them. He's very powerful. He's incredibly difficult to kill, but he doesn't really have any support capability for his troops. Or Miao Ying, she has like
all hostiles eliminated. I think we're clear.
Healing magic. She has life
think?
bloom, flesh to stone, which increases distance by a shit ton. She has the power of Yin, which when she casts a spell, triggers a hex in an area around her that reduces the armor of enemies by 15. She has Missile Mirror, where once she casts it, it essentially redirects projectiles back towards the firing unit for a limited time. That's pretty cool. She's very much a support character. She has that the capability to kind of just stand in with the troops and just heal and buff them. And then when she needs to, she can pop over to dragon form and just start fucking people. I haven't really built her for combat yet. I've built her mostly for spellcasting. She has this really nasty spell called Talons of Night. And essentially when you cast it, it's like this cloud and like all these talons start coming out and like grabbing, smashing things.
That's badass.
I think so. She's got a line that basically buffs all the units in her army.
We're with you, Chief.
Like imposing range and persistent fire. Increases the range and reload time of ranged units. So basically she buffs ranged units, and then Xiao Ying, is that his name? I always forget his name. Xiao Ming. So Xiao Ming buffs melee units. So technically the Terracotta Warrior thing that I'm doing is better with him than it is with her. So she does buff the ranged units, like the Sky Junk. That's the one that fires like rockets out of it.
Yeah.
She buffs those as well as like the crane gunners, which are basically like Giselles. They're basically just rifles that they have shields in front of them, and they put the rifles on top and they fire over top. And then there's the Celestial Dragon crossbowmen, which are like the best crossbows you can get. I'm trying to unlock the building that I can from. She only has one of them right now, but they do a shitload of armor piercing damage, and they have really good range. Not as long range as the crane gunners, but they do more damage than the crane. Which is big. Like, you really want that damage. What is that ability? What is this? Missile block chance. Oh, interesting. Actually, the crane gunners have an ability called Shield Breaker, where it reduces the chance that missiles are blocked by shields by... That's actually pretty fucking good. Yeah. Because shields... shield and will block 35% of all small arms missile fire hitting it from the front. So shields reduce incoming fire by 35%. The crane gunners reduce that by 24%.
Moving up.
So, against crane gunners, shielded enemies only have a 6% chance to block incoming fire. So that's pretty fucking good. I might actually use them instead, because that's just an insane... Well, it's good up until the enemy has no shields. Then it doesn't matter. Then the Celestial Dragon crossbowmen are better, because they deal
Since things started going south.
13 more damage per shot. Yeah, and they have more armor, better melee defense, better weapon strength, so they're actually all around better than the crane gunners if they were to go into melee. The crane gunners go into melee, they're dead. Plus there's more of them, there's 80 Celestial Dragon crossbowmen, there's only 32 crane gunners. So yeah, I definitely want more of the crossbowmen. But yeah, I mean it's something cool. They have ox pulled fire rocket carts.
Ox pulled rocket carts. I like that.
Yeah. So it's 2 ox and they're pulling a cart that has a barrel that has a bunch of rockets in it. They just light the rockets and they just blow everything up. But that's what the Sky Junk does as well. That's why I like the Sky Junk so much, because it's a hot air balloon with a basket, and then underneath the basket is just a barrel with rockets on it, and they just fire the rockets out. They also have bombs underneath, so if you fly the Sky Junk over enemies and click the button, it'll drop bombs on the enemy. It's pretty fucking cool. But I'm trying to... Because one of the things you don't want to happen is you don't want Tzeentch to find out where you are, because then he starts fucking with you with his abilities.
Yeah.
Like he starts like forcing you to go to war with other people. Yeah, he could switch who owns one of your cities to an enemy. It's just very annoying. I don't like. Yeah, I really just don't like. I don't like Tzeentch knowing where I am. What the floppy fuck was that sound? Whatever. I'm not at war with anybody else.
Wait, Trevor, are you getting on tanks at all?
Yeah, I can get on tanks now if you want. I was just doing this got like
you always
5 Marines on this Razorback, dude, and I just drive up to an enemy and they just 2 guys with bulldog shotguns, a fucking plasma rifle, and an assault rifle. They just they just shred the guy. Bye. That Jackal just got shredded again. 2 shotgun blasts in the face, plasma. So I gave the guy a plasma rifle so it gets rid of their shields fast, and then just an assault rifle goes into a fucking assault rifle. I think it sucks because I wish they could get in other vehicles and drive with you, but as far as I can tell, they're not doing that.
Oh shit! Fuck.
There's another Marine. Where the fuck do we go? Dudes.
Okay.
Oh, the Marines are back here. Where the fuck did they go? Okay. I guess like as you take certain areas, they'll like unlock areas you can use for vehicles and shit, depending on what you take. This one gives me like warthogs and shit and razorbacks.
Like ODST?
Yeah. Because when you play this, you can summon in Marines to help you, like the Scout Marine, the Sniper, the Heavy Gunner or something.
They need to make like another, like, it was so much more interesting to play ODST.
Yeah, I agree. I can summon in the Breacher. One Marine equipped with a CQSB Bulldog will spawn at controlled FOBs and can reverse your UNMD vehicle seats. I had 900 points. Look at the Commando to just be able to pick 1,000. I'll get the Scout. So it seems like you get the weapon, and then after you hit like a certain amount of points, only like, you know, every about 100 points or so. So it's like a 900 for the Commando, 1,000 for the Scout, 1,100 for the BR-75 battle rifle, and then 1,200 for the heavy assault. And you stay there; it's your Valor points. So as you get like, you know, reach a certain checkpoint of points, you get something else. The Gun Goose. Heavy assault, and the Gun Goose give me a sniper, and then after that I get the Sniper Marine. One Marine equipped with an S7 sniper rifle will spawn at controlled FOBs. Then you get the Spanker, and then you get the Demolition. One Marine only equipped with an M21 Spanker will be controlled to spawn that. Scorpion, Hydra. There eventually at like 2600 to get the Wasp with like the flying ship. Then they start giving you weapons that are like Rocket Hog's the last one, but then you start giving like weapons that are like special versions of the weapons. Pretty cool. Off a jump, and the Marine's like, notify air traffic control before takeoff.
Engaging.
Flying in the air. Yeah, I'm not gonna get on.
Fucking monkey.
It just fucking
Enemy damage.
auto saves it. End the game for all players and return for the main menu. Then you just get to this next checkpoint just to make sure.
Jesus.
So, what now, Chief? Should we go check out the dig site the Spartan told us about? squad of Marines nearby that need help, Chief. Marking it.
Alright, bitch. Don't keep hitting me with spells. I'm gonna fucking smack you with a dragon. It's just
Flaming
dragon.
I think I saw him in another movie recently too.
Who, the guy who says that?
Yeah. I know he plays the cop guy in the show.
Yeah, he plays like his partner.
Yeah, like he's like a side, like, because the black dude's his original partner, his main partner. I forget his name, and then he has the other cop who's like, I think he's just a regular officer. I don't think he's like a detective.
Yeah.
He's just like a.
He definitely is. He's like a boots on the ground guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a sergeant, isn't he?
I think he is actually. I thought it was, yeah, he's a sergeant. I think, yeah. Sergeant.
So, I go against this Zeech army. It just started running through my fucking land, and their lord, like, not like their hero, their lord, kept just shooting these little blue bolts at my fucking dragon lady, and I just turned her into a dragon and just kicked the shit out of him. I knocked him right the fuck out of the sky. Because he just is constantly flying at all times.
Yeah.
Shit, my Terracotta Warriors are getting... Or that one is getting fucked. Jesus, they're all aiming for him. Fuck off, please. Jesus Christ, can you please fuck off?
All clear. Those Marines owe you their lives, Chief.
After those, please. Actually, can you turn into human form, please? And just heal that Terracotta Warrior?
Hell yes, Chief.
That would be great. Get him.
I can get used to holding one of these.
Moving up.
Got something.
Oh my god. I'd never seen the Talons of Night before. I just cast it, and it is beautiful. It's a stationary effect, so it's in one place, but it does exactly as I described, where it's like this black smoky circle, and then all of a sudden these dragon claws just start coming out and fucking crushing everything in the circle. I just decimated 3 fucking units of Zeech's fucking army, all in one little circle. Christ. Can you please kill those guys? Like, goddamn.
If we're gonna rebuild the UNSC, we should start.
You got one fucking job. Please do it. Kill that, please. You help them. You're not moving fast enough, and I hate it. That's only a single? Ooh. is hitting. You are. Kill him, please. Good God, man. She's decimating our fucking lines, and you just let him do it. Oh, never mind. They're all dying now. That's one of the downsides to demons, is that once they lose enough morale, they start, like, dematerializing from the material realm. So when you lose a battle, you lose all of your units. And some of the more humanoid ones will stay, but then you have, like, an army of, like, 3 fucking units that happen to be human instead of demons. Otherwise, they all just burn out.
Yeah.
So they're very much like undead in that regard, and that's all demons. It's not one faction. If they are demons, they will burn out if they start to lose. Okay. Anything from that? I guess I get a little bit. But usually what will happen is when they lose, then the enemy will just kind of like, even if there's some humans left, they'll pretty much just die. Like, they won't come back. Which, depending on whether or not your army is either fully or partially made out of non-demons, can be good or bad, because you don't want to obviously lose like a shit ton of your units because you lost a battle.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that the material races have against the demons, is that if they lose a battle, there's a solid chance that there's a chunk of their army that survives and they can like run and heal. Finally. I want to know what the fuck this does.